Stop drinking and you'll change the world.
What does it look like when alcohol has taken almost everything? The jobs, the relationships, even your home, but you're still standing, still fighting, and still showing up to tell your story. Today's guest, Joe, he's not quite sober yet, but he's brutally honest about his drinking, his struggles, and the life he's trying to rebuild alongside his loyal dog. This conversation is raw, real, and a reminder that sobriety is a journey. Sometimes we're in the thick of it, and that's exactly where the story matters most. Thanks, Joe, for being willing to do this and reaching out to me. So, you're not sober yet, and that's okay. So, today is about where you are right now, the fight you're in, and the reality of what drinking looks like today. When did alcohol first enter your life?
Honestly, so long ago, my grandfather gave me my first beer when I was like 5.
Oh, wow.
But he thought I wouldn't like it. And it was true. Like for a long time, I'm just like, no, let me stay away from that. And then I moved to Georgia when I was 13. And every weekend my dad would pick me up and he'd buy alcohol and like just it started there. And then I kind of got away from it for a while there as well. And honestly, after our first conversation, because you wanted me to be sober, so I wanted to be sober for this conversation. It was a struggle because, you mentioned it in your last podcast about football. So fantasy football, that's like a huge thing. We do like a live draft and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's been a journey. I'll go weeks without drinking, and then I'll go, months drinking.
You mentioned a handle every 2.5 days. Was that at your
Yeah, that
heaviest?
yeah, that was my heaviest. That was during COVID. I feel like that's also a lot of people's heaviest
Mm,
where COVID hit, and it just you couldn't really do much, so you just at home and yeah,
yeah.
2.5 a handle every 2.5 days. That's a lot.
What was your drink of choice?
At that time, it was whiskey
Oh, makes my
and
stomach
bourbon.
burn just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, during COVID, that's when you said that you drank the heaviest. What did a normal day look like for you?
Well, at the time, I worked 2 jobs, to be honest with you. I still drank that much. I don't know how I handled that. One was at home, so I do like 8 hours at home, and then I go to a restaurant, and I'd work another like 4 or 5, 6 hours.
Mm.
And that was basically it, and walking my husky, and that was basically my life.
And your husky's name is Amp? Is that what you wrote?
Soraya.
Soraya. Okay, maybe it was, I don't know what my email said. That was awake to bed type drinking.
In a way, but I never got, like, super wasted. It was super weird. Yeah, I drank the whole day, but I never got to the point where I couldn't function. I mean, I'm working at a restaurant, bussing tables and serving and doing all that, and I don't think you can function if you're that messed up. Walking around, talking to people won't
Mm.
know, so I think it might have been the spreading out thing that made it okay until it wasn't okay. Rich Roll has a quote. He said, "Alcohol is the solution until it no longer works." And I feel that.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I pulled up some statistics, and men are more likely than women to drink heavily. About 21% of men binge drink monthly versus 13% of women. What do you
I
think
could
about
see
that?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I could see that 100%. I feel also like a lot of stuff is, I'm not going to say that women don't have issues too, but a lot of pressure is put on men,
Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Oh, I mean, the
So,
What is the Dax song he sings about? Oh my gosh, I cannot remember the name of the song off the top of my
oh,
head right
that
now.
alcohol song?
Oh, well, that song too, but he has a song
Oh,
about being a man, and it gives me goosebumps. I mean, I can understand where you're coming from. I think men just have a lot harder time showing their emotions than women sometimes. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
100%.
like
Yeah.
I have to ask my husband how his day is, but I just tell him how my day is, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah. And then he's just silent, right?
yeah, yeah, that's just the difference. We are just open books, and you guys have a little bit more of a, reserve to you.
Right. Well, there's a reason for that. I'm gonna open up. You said you want me to be raw, so I'm gonna be a little bit raw. But every time I open up, especially to a guy, it's okay when you open up, but then you get brought up during a group conversation, like when you're hanging out with all your people, and now all that gets brought up, and you're like, dude, like I told you that in confidence. You don't have to. you know? Kinda not fair. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why we are the way that we are. And I don't think women like it either. Like as far as dating and stuff like that is concerned, it's every time I've opened up, it just never went well. So
Yeah, I think it's just harder.
I wanted to talk about a few things, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
I would love for you to talk about a few things.
I've lost both my mom, my dad, my grandfather. My dog got attacked twice. So there's a lot of trauma going through. And like you said, men don't handle that very well. So that's probably the main reason why I went to alcohol. You want to quit, but it's a little bit difficult, especially like if you go through withdrawal, which I don't get hangovers. I never get hangovers. I go straight to withdrawal, depending on how much I drink, if that makes sense.
Really? Can you
Mm.
explain that a
Yeah,
little bit more?
yeah. It's just shakes, and that's all it is. It's nothing like
That's all
super
it is.
crazy.
Sorry, I don't
I
mean
mean,
to
it's a
laugh. Like,
lot.
you know,
It's a lot.
that's scary though. Like having the shakes.
Yeah.
You've maybe have a problem if you start shaking when you quit drinking.
Right. And then, well, I say just the shakes because a lot of people go through delirium tremens, which is
Right.
probably the worst,
Hmm.
and then tremors and stuff. I never get anything like that. In fact, there's this, I think it was like a year ago, I'm like, I'm just done with it. So I woke up in the morning, made myself a green drink and everything. And next thing you know, I was like shaking like a leaf. I'm like, I can't. I, at that point, I had to grab something else to get rid of it, because that stuff is super scary. So I also had a lot of lucid dreams. I don't know if you've ever been through that, where you're dreaming, but you're actually awake, like
Oh,
you're dreaming. Yeah,
isn't that a part of
and
DTs?
it might be, but I never got to the level where I was like completely hallucinating and going outside and doing crazy stuff. So I could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
One time I woke up. Okay, so I'm actually sleeping, but in my head, I was awake in my apartment and my dog was acting crazy. And I'm like, you don't normally do this. What's going on? So I went to the bathroom and I flipped on the switch, right? And the light didn't come on. And I'm like, what is going on? So then I walked into the kitchen and the same thing. And for some reason, I was wearing socks, which I never wear socks to bed. That was super crazy. And the floor was sticky. My socks were like hitting the floor. And then I fell on glass. For some reason, there was glass on the floor. And I fell with my hands like this. And I looked and I'm like, I'm not bleeding. What is going on? So I walked into this other area that turned into a living room where like the furniture, there was clothing everywhere, everything was like tossed and turned. And I'm like, oh my God, is someone breaking my place? And I'm like, no, because my dog would have barked and she would have woke me up. There's no way. And then all of a sudden my heart started pounding. And I walked around and into where my actual living room is. And I pushed the window instead of opening like this, it opened like this. And I jumped out the window because I knew I was asleep. I knew I was dreaming. And that's the only way, kind of like Inception. I woke up immediately. So that was a pretty intense, insane, something I would never do in real life, but in the dream it happened. So
And this was during one of your sobriety, like trying to get sober
yeah, yeah. This was like a year ago.
a year ago. What has the last year looked like for you?
You mentioned it earlier. I lost everything, both my jobs, the girl I was dating. I mean, I still have my dog and stuff, but like most everything else has been taken away. And it's my choice. It's my choice to keep doing
Yeah.
it. I had the warnings and I didn't eat it. So it's on me.
Are you working now?
No.
Okay.
But I am going through some training to become an insurance agent. So
Oh, have fun with that. I was one
yeah.
for a while.
Were you? Do
Yeah.
you like it?
I did. I did. I'm just saying like the test was I've taken my life and health and my real estate and my series 6 and 63, passed them just fine. Came to that one and it took me 3 times. Property and
Okay.
casualty was really hard for me. But
Yeah.
good for you. That's something to really work. I mean,
What
that's
is
something to look.
a lot of information. It's so much,
Yeah.
and it's very technical. Like a lot of it's a lot of words, memorization and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we'll get through it.
You will. You
It'll
will.
be
I
fun.
mean, I mean, I know that it's hard, and I mean, I've done it myself, but it's something that you can look forward to. That's definitely. And then
Yeah, for
depending on where
sure.
you go work, you can, it's a step to work towards even being sober, even, or being stronger towards getting sober.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking the other day because 2016 was my best year ever. I used to run Spartan races, but OCRs, I was in physician assistant school. I mean, everything was just like on fire and then it just kind of stopped. And I think that might have been also a trigger. Your whole world is working and then all of a sudden it falls apart. It's like, okay, go ahead.
So in 2016, that you said that
Mhm.
year was just absolutely amazing, but what was so amazing about that year and then what happened afterwards?
Well, I was completely sober. I didn't drink at all. I was the best shape of my life. Like I said, I did the OCRs. I mean, I just went to work and came home and worked out, and I don't know, it's peaceful. It was calm. There's no drama. I feel like you know that's kind of my life. I like that. So I was meditating. I was doing yoga, working out, running. It just worked,
Okay,
and the schedule was perfect. Go ahead.
so you're saying everything that most of us that are sober do, yoga, meditation, running, working
Hmm.
out, schedule. So what shifted and then what's holding you back now?
In the beginning, I think it was losing my parents. That was really, really tough. Now it's just me. It's like you wake up and you go through withdrawal and it's like, well, do I not? Or do I grab that and actually be normal for a couple hours? But it's not a fix. It doesn't work, if that makes sense.
Yeah. When did your parents pass away?
Mom was 2021, so right after COVID, and dad was 2013, and then grandfather was 2015.
My grandpa passed away in 2015 also.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for yours. So all those losses were very traumatic for you and you probably didn't have a solid way to process them.
Yeah, I think the latter part is actually correct. It's like, what do you know what I mean? Besides going to a therapist, I guess would be probably be the best thing to do. But I just ate it. We were talking about that earlier. Like, man, we don't want to, feel weak. I guess is that
Yeah. Well, I think there's like this cultural expectation. Drinking is tied to masculinity. Like, real men drink type,
my God,
cultural expectation.
I can see that. There's a guy I was actually following. He talks about it, and I'm like, I had to unfollow. I'm like, man, like, just because you're a man doesn't mean you gotta have a glass of whiskey every single night. That's kind of nuts.
Right. And I think alcohol is often the glue to those male friendships. I think that we mentioned that earlier is you kind of said, you don't really know what to do with friends. And I feel like I've talked to so many men in the last couple weeks that have kind of voiced that same concern. Like, what do I do with my friends?
Right. No, I agree with that. And honestly, like when I did the fantasy football, one of my friends like stood up for me because I didn't want to do fireball, and they're doing like fireball. I'm like, dude, like I don't want that. I'm not doing that. And he's like, brought the guy beside that was trying to get me to drink it, and was like, no, no, no. So that actually triggered me in a good way to say, not all men are gonna force you to do something you don't want to do.
Right.
Just because they want to be friends and they don't want to let it go doesn't mean you can't let it go. And they can still be your friend. You know what I mean? So if there's
That's a
any
real
guys out
friend.
there listening to this, yeah, if there's any guys out there listening to this, just be honest with people and say, hey, I don't want this anymore. And your real people will stay by your side and they'll sit up for you.
And I think there's just a fear of isolation when it comes to quitting drinking. One of the things I read is 1 in 3 men worry about losing friends if they quit drinking. I know, like, it's such a controversial topic across the board when it comes to men and women's drinking and men's friends and women's friends and how women act and men. I mean, I get it. Like, people are gonna be like, well, it's not just men. But I mean, you're being open about the man side of it and how you actually feel about it. And I think that's a very powerful conversation to have because I just had a conversation with somebody on Tuesday that he, didn't know what to do with his friends anymore. And so it's hard. He's like, I don't just call my friends up and ask them to, go get coffee or go for a hike with me. But why can't you guys?
Yeah. I mean, I've done that. I invite people to go. I love walking. I go to state parks all the time, obviously with the dog and stuff. And I invite people to come hang out, and nobody ever wants to. They would rather just you know watch TV or, like you said, have a beer with somebody or something like that. Most people don't. They're not active.
Yeah.
At least my experience. I don't know like how everybody is. Just that's how I am.
I kind of feel the
Um,
same.
so one thing that was very important recently, because we had that conversation, and this is a fire ceremony. I want to share this with people.
Yeah.
So you write, I don't know if you heard about the letter that you write to alcohol. So you write the
Um,
letter, like dear alcohol, and then
oh
you
yeah.
say you were there for me and all this, but like it doesn't serve you anymore. So I need to let you go. I'm sorry, whatever you gotta say. And then you burn it and you send it off into the universe and you let it go. And it's very powerful and it works.
I 100% agree with you. My trauma therapist actually had me do the same thing, but not with alcohol. But I've had people that I coach do that with alcohol. And, I implement that tool quite often. I think there is a freeing thing. You write something and you burn it and it just, gets released.
Right. Oh, you just gave me chills. And like I say it and you say it and it like reverberates a little different. So one thing about me that's a little bit weird is I'm on the cusp of Sagittarius and Scorpio. So I know we're going a little bit away from alcohol, but it's like Sagittarius is what the love sign. Like you're
I just know what an Aries is.
yeah. So Sagittarius more like I love you, and then Scorpio is more like I want to crawl in a hole and be by myself.
Oh,
Yeah. So I wrestle with that like a lot. Hanging out with people drains me. Like if it's a lot of people and it's like a party atmosphere and stuff like that, drains me like a lot. I'd rather just be at home with my dog, you know, throwing a ball and letting her play. So I feel like that might have a lot to do with how I started drinking, because it's a, I don't want to say a hole that you need to fill, but like,
hmm
yeah, like when you don't have people in your life because you're a recluse, you kind of need to have a semblance of, I don't know how to language it, but
like your
you know
best
what I'm
friend
saying.
is alcohol.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
fills that void.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But I
So
love that you brought the astrology up because I've always been a weirdo since high school about that, and then, like, not everybody is into it, and I've, always been the one that would read my astrology, like,
yeah.
"What's this week gonna
Yeah.
bring?" I'm all about the full moons, and I'm all about that stuff.
That's awesome. I do that too sometimes just to see like, does it match up really telling me about myself, or are you just making up a bunch of stuff?
Right?
I do follow like stars and moons and night skies and all that. I've always been into it. Cosmos was one of my favorite series. Just all of that fascinates me.
Yeah, it's fun, and, I mean, I definitely can relate to being an Aries, that's for sure, and I think most
I
people that
think I
know me.
did in Aries. It didn't work out very well.
Well, and then I go off I would do that in high school also, be like, "Oh, who am I compatible with?" And, I still
Right.
I mean, did that for years. I really wanna dig into the part of it being so hard to quit drinking. You're so close to it, but yet do you feel so far away,
Right. Yeah. Basically.
basically?
I mean, I went like a week and then I had that fancy football thing, and that's all it takes is that one drink. One's too many and a hundred's never enough.
Right.
So you kind of have to be careful.
So I wanna
And if you
repeat
really want it, good.
I wanna repeat what you just said. You went a week and then you had 1 drink and it took you back to drinking because that one is never enough. I feel too many people get that, you know, they're so gung ho in that first week and then they're like, I got this. I can just have 1 drink. But it's never, ever enough. For the majority of us, it's not. I know that somebody commented the other day that the majority of us can actually handle our alcohol. Well, the majority of people that I know cannot handle their alcohol or just stop at 1. So I don't know where the statistics come from, and I think it's just a per person experience with alcohol. Like, kudos to those that can, normalize putting poison in their body and be okay with it. But I've gotten to the point where I don't even want to even consume it. And that was from all the comments I got from my very first video when I released it back in September 2023. I got all those videos of or comments about how terrible it was. And I never realized how terrible alcohol was. I was just I thought it was just, you know, I don't even know what I thought it
Right.
was.
I mean, we're oblivious to that, especially when we're doing that because we don't really care that much. And then I saw Andrew Huberman's podcast, and I'm like, what is going on right now? I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
No, no doubt. I'm pretty sure you're gonna spend like 2 hours editing this, right? I watched Fat Country. I don't know if you know about.
Oh, I love Stu. Yeah. He's been on my channel.
Yes, since last LD Influencer and Slayer. Those are my main three, and then your podcast. That's about it. And then I watch stuff like Bedros Keuilian and Alex and Layla Hermosi for businesses and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, for the most part, I think it might be a slippery slope if you just go the sobriety route
Mhm.
because you're listening to their stories every single day, and it might push you back into drinking again. You
I
know,
like that you bring that up because I just talked to somebody the other day and he said, I don't like AA because I just get tired of listening to stories all the time. But then I have people that, live and breathe sobriety podcasts because they get to hear people's stories. So I think there's a good, I don't know, set of people that, like it and don't like it. But I am very into Andy Frisella and Ed Milet and Andrew Huberman, and I watch a lot of Will Tennyson. I mean, he's kind of a goober, but
but
like those types of, people, and along with, other ones too. But like I said, I can't think of them off the top of my head unless I go back to my YouTube feed right now.
I'm on YouTube almost all day, every day, basically.
Yeah.
But it's getting to a point where there's so many commercials where I'm like, do I even want to? I'm watching Andrew Huberman podcasts are like 3 hours long sometimes, and every 5 minutes is a commercial. And I know it's not his fault. It's just like uh, you kind of lose interest when you get broken up, especially when it's at a crucial moment where you want to hear what the guy has to say, and then you just get, and it's weird, like watching sobriety podcasts, and then guess what the commercial is?
I've heard.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Why? What are you doing right now?
It's weird, and I think YouTube I just had a thread on my comments the other day. There is a people complain about the ads all the time, but I think it's YouTube's way of pushing people to get premium, and then you won't see the
Hmm,
ads. And
yeah.
I've also heard people complain about the alcohol ads, but I mean, as the influencers, we don't really have any control of what they're gonna show you.
Right. Like I said, it's no one's fault. It's YouTube. And I used to have it's like $10 a month. I used to have the premium. I kind of got rid of it because I'm like I'm paying $10 a month for just to get rid of commercials.
Yeah.
So
Just wait 4 seconds and skip. I know some of them are longer, but
exactly.
I mean, I don't even know. I think my husband's his main YouTube maybe has premium. I don't know, but I don't think, I use my Sober Strong channel to watch things, and I don't think we have. I don't know. I still get ads that I watch on other
Yeah,
people's. How much are you drinking nowadays?
couple nips. Not I'm not like throwing back drinks anymore. But
I may be
like I
oblivious. I
said,
may be like people might criticize me for asking this, but what's a nip? What do you mean? What do you mean
oh,
by a nip?
it's shooter, little airplane shooter, a
Oh,
50
okay.
milliliter.
Okay.
Little guys. Like I said, if I buy a whole handle, I'm gonna drink it. So I might as well just do the little guys and be done with it. Not that I even need to be doing that, but yes, I was doing good until fantasy football, and then I kind of like fell back into it a little bit. But I just had a really good conversation with one of my best friends, who I'm staying with right now, and I thought that was really important to have camaraderie.
Mm,
And I don't know, he just put point blank, just don't. Then
yeah.
like you don't want it, so just don't. I'm like, okay,
But what
we'll
is
leave
your
it then.
take on that? Because I feel like when I tell people that, people get mad at me for saying that because it's not as easy as just don't do it. What is your thought process on that?
I think it depends on how you say it also. Like, if they know that you care when you say it, they can hear it in your voice, I think they'd be open to, and you're right, it's you can't just, like, I mean, you can, I'm pretty sure, like, you probably just stopped at some point, you didn't taper off, right? Did you just,
Um,
like, point blank
I
done?
I so before we started 75 hard, I knew I wasn't gonna be drinking, but I didn't ever go into 75 hard with the thought, "This is my quit drinking journey." Not one thought. And then so the couple weeks leading up to it, I actually started taking a supplement called L-theanine, recommended by my NP psych. And because I'm like, okay, the evenings are so hard for me and I don't want to take benzos and, the whole story. And he didn't prescribe them to me because of, all the studies on them. So I would have them for extreme cases. But
Yeah.
so he recommended that to me, and so I started taking that, and I noticed that my drinking did slowly start tapering off. I wasn't drinking quite as much, but the day before I started 75 hard, I drank like a fish.
Don't beat yourself up over it. Like, just, that's another thing that we do as people, either sobriety people or people sober curious. You drink and then you beat yourself up for it, and then to feel better, you drink more, and it's like, oh, you're defeating the whole purpose of getting sober in the first place
Can you repeat
when you
that?
do
I
that.
really need people to hear that part.
Which part? The whole thing?
Yeah, because I feel
Okay.
I hear this quite often.
You relapse, let's just put that that way. And then I don't like to use the H word, but I will. You hate yourself for it. So then you drink to make yourself feel better. And then it turns into this vicious cycle again.
You said it perfectly. I think way too many people do end up just feeling so much shame and guilt, and they just stay back stuck in that cycle.
Yeah. That's another thing I heard. Like, we're so good at forgiving other people. What do you need to forgive yourself for?
Right.
That's important. I think that's something you should think about.
I still need to think about that.
Yeah, everybody does, but we don't. Like, I can, if we were friends, right, we were hanging out and something happened, I'd forgive you for it. But if I did something, then I won't forgive myself for
Right.
it. And it's sad. That's a sad way to
So what do you recommend to those people that,
live.
have that thought process?
That's tough because I'm not there yet. I know it consciously. I just haven't done it. Does that make sense? So maybe just journaling is very important. Write stuff down. Look at yourself in the mirror. How about that?
Yeah.
Every day you wake up, look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I forgive you." Do the what's that prayer? It's like,
The serenity prayer?
is it? No, it starts with an O. I have it on my phone. I just can't think of it right now. But you look at yourself and you say, "I love you. I forgive you." And there's a few other things that you say, but you look at yourself and you genuinely say it to yourself. I think that's important.
Telling ourselves affirmations.
Well, just be real about it. Just be
Yeah.
like, dude, like, you messed up a few times. It's okay. I love you. People love you. That's you. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new starting point to change it all around.
Yeah. So what's the hardest part about imagining life without alcohol for you right now?
Imagine life without alcohol. Nothing really. It's not even about that. It's weird. I don't even have a trigger. I was thinking about that because watching these podcasts, they talk about triggers, and I don't really have one. My trigger is only just waking up.
Waking up. That's a tough one.
It's only because it's been, you do it for so long. It's just what you do. It's
Right.
not even like that you want it. It's just what you do at that point.
I think most of us, I mean, as soon as I would wake up, I'd be looking forward to that drink. When can I drink? When's the appropriate time to start drinking? You can laugh because it just sounds so stupid in our heads. When we say it out loud,
Right.
I mean, when's the appropriate time to start drinking? I don't know.
Like,
I
what are
guess
you
it
talking
depends on
about
who
right
you're
now?
asking. Are you asking the other mom that drinks as much as you, or are you asking, someone like you that wakes up and wants to drink right away? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what is acceptable? I don't think there's
Right.
an answer.
I mean, you gotta decide that for yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever did this, but this might be a common theme as well. But instead of going to the same store every day, you go to different stores so people don't think that you're drinking as much as you do.
I
It's
started
crazy.
I always felt super insecure when I would check out regardless, thinking that they
I feel that.
probably I'm here to, promote not drinking obviously, but I'm not going to, judge you if you still drink or whatever, live your life. I don't I My husband and I are dealing with that right now is they people think that we're judging them. It's like, I don't care. Go do a cake stand in front of me. It doesn't bother me. It's going to be your choice when you're ready to quit drinking or have, life discussion with yourself about how alcohol is affecting your life because I see it all around me and I see how some people's lives could be so much better without alcohol in it, but it has to come with from within them. to quit.
I want to ask you a question about that. Like, how do you feel? Because I hear some people saying you should be honest about it, and some people say you shouldn't because the whole judgmental, like you were saying, like, and I think you should be harsh with people sometimes. Like, I don't think that's a problem, even if they're like you're judging me. Well, I mean, if it's a bit much. It's a bit much, and you should hear it because if they're your friend and you don't tell them, it could be 10 years goes by and they're still doing the same thing, right? But they care about your opinion. They'll listen and say, they might get butthurt in the beginning and be mad at you, but later they'll think about that. And that might be the catalyst to change their lives.
I'm kind of a smartass. I am a
Well, we
smartass.
all are.
So I will make those underlying undertone digs or whatever you want to call them. And I mean, whatever. The other night I said something and they were like, "Don't judge us," and it was just all fun and games. And I just brought to their attention, "Hey, remember what happened last time?" Just saying.
Yeah, I got you.
And it was just a
I
funny.
guess I would probably get a little butthurt about that too.
I was like, "Oh, you're going there again?" And I mean, just there was a backstory behind it. So it was an
Mm,
inside story. And it just, that was the first time I kind of made one of those comments. But then somebody's also asked me to talk to their husband. And that's not my place. When the perfect opportunity arises, I will maybe bring to their attention, okay, you say you only had 3 beers, but you started at noon and then you chugged another one right when you got home and then brought it to the pool. And these people, I brought it to their attention what cancers it causes and what it actually does. And they had no idea. I said, because he said, "Oh, it's just beer." Um, I said, "Okay, well that's what the people on my podcast have said, that it's just White Claw and
yeah,
have people pass away from it and or liver failure." I try to bring that to attention. It doesn't matter what you're freaking drinking. It's all alcohol. It's all going to hurt you. And
right.
some
We
people,
justify the beer because sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's lower content. So it was a beer like 4%, 4.5, 5.
well, the beers I
Where
drink
if you're
were
drinking,
definitely not that low.
you're doing IPAs.
Yes.
Okay. But when you go liquor, you're looking at 35, 40%. So we like to justify it's just beer
Hmm.
when it's still alcohol. And you need to realize that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people do that, or they're gaining weight and they switch from beer and go to whiskey or vodka. And my grandpa, something that he said, it still sticks with me from when I was probably in middle school. He said beer will make you fatter and liquor makes you, I cannot remember what he said, but it was something about how beer makes you fat and then liquor kills you quicker or something like that. So I think,
We got those sayings, but I disagree with that. I think, obviously when you switch to the liquor, you get drunk faster, but you still throwing back drinks and you're going to get, hey, I'm sorry. I mean, one of those nips that I told you I drink is 109 calories.
oh,
So so if you drink 12 of those, that's 1,200 calories,
which
up
then
roughly. It's not,
goes to the eating disorder when it comes to alcohol, because we're
we
gonna
don't eat.
save our calorie intake for the alcohol we're gonna
Yeah.
drink.
Or sometimes you don't even get hungry because you get enough calories from alcohol where you just don't even get the hunger feeling anymore
Yeah. Or
until you're
yeah, the
sobering
beer,
up.
you're just
Right.
so full from the beer.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stomach's full. So I wanted to open up a little bit more. In 2012, so this was a long time ago, like 10, 13, 14 years ago, I actually got a DUI.
Okay.
I rear-ended somebody, but I was going like 5 miles per hour, so it wasn't like a big issue. I mean, it's an issue.
You didn't
Obviously, it's
hurt
a big issue.
anybody. Is
Correct, but she pretended like she did because I was going so slow. I'm sorry, maybe she got hurt. I don't know, but she didn't have that conversation with me. But towards the end of the investigation, she started grabbing the back of her neck and stuff, and I'm like, "Here we go." So she sued my insurance company. The insurance company wanted a picture of my vehicle. I drove a Honda Accord back then, and the agent literally started laughing when I sent her the photo because there was no damage at all. So I just want to reverberate, like, you might not think you're drinking as much as you do, don't get behind the wheel. Just don't. And that's why I brought that story up because I mean that could have went way worse than it did.
Yeah. I think those we watch a lot of cop videos, and a lot of them are
Hmm.
DUI related chases and stuff, and majority of the time they end in a fatality. And it's just unfortunate. And I don't understand why the laws aren't stricter on it. I know that some states are more strict than others, but some, I think it was Wisconsin, one of the ones I watched, and he blew double the legal limit and he just got a citation.
Really. Mm. I've heard people blow like so the legal limit is point oh 0.08. I've heard people blow like oh my god. I just watched this. You said the cop videos, right? So I think it was Backcountry put on a video about this bus driver, point 0.3 something.
A bus driver? Like
Yes,
a
with
child
kids
bus
and
driver?
yes. I'm like, how are you even A, conscious, first of all? B, no, you don't do that. You're putting other people's lives in danger. Even if you're by yourself, you're still putting other people's lives in danger. So that right there was a bit much.
So what did you
Point
learn from
0.3,
that?
that's something.
What did you learn from your
Well,
experience?
from my experience, don't get behind the wheel if you're drinking. Stay home or get an Uber. I mean, we got the technology now where we don't need to do that anymore.
Right.
So even when I went to my fantasy football, I Ubered there and Ubered back. Not risking that. I have had besides that a few run-ins with cops, but nothing like major, like nothing about me, just in general. And then I'd be under the influence and like, "Are you been drinking?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm not gonna lie about it. And then they just like walk away. They don't really care. As long as you're not driving and you're not doing anything, like I said, egregious or like hurting somebody, they don't. It's just public intoxication. I guess they can get someone for that. But I mean, when you have bars and clubs everywhere and people are out drinking, it's like how do you just like justify that?
Yeah.
And there's probably 100 people in that place, drinking, acting a fool and stuff.
Watching these videos though is keeps me sober, because that could have been me at the bar getting in trouble, acting a fool, or, just
Yeah.
being ridiculous in some of these videos. I mean, thankfully I never got to that. I mean, I never got in trouble with the law. I got, I guess, quote, lucky. I don't know. I don't know if it's
Or
lucky.
maybe you were just smart.
Yeah. I was always in the right place at the wrong time, or something similar to
No.
that. When I was in high school, there's a very so one memory that I remember is we were getting ready. We were on the road up to the mountain to the bonfire, and we had the windows down, and I said, "Is that sirens?" Sure enough, the sirens were already on their way up there, and we were like, "Peace out." We missed I think 15 people got MIPs that night.
Like, how do you even like, if you're underage, is that like a felony? How does that
I think it's
work?
a misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor?
Again, I'm not the law, and I never got one, so
Yeah.
I went down MIP free.
Yeah, because you were smart and you left.
I mean, I've jumped 6 fences one night to escape it and laid in a ditch for quite a while, but and I'm laughing at it because I don't nobody got an MIP because they didn't run. It was those of us that ran that they wanted because, we weren't being honest. But I was
Yeah,
terrified. I saw that cop shake his finger and I was out, and 6 of us ran. But
yeah.
I mean,
I
you
remember I was at a party one time and I was like way too old to be there. But I didn't know. You don't see the people until you get there, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, "I'm leaving." And the cops were called for some reason, I don't know why, and they were walking up, and they looked at me, they said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Leaving." I was there maybe a minute. I'm like, "No, no." A friend invited me, and I didn't know what I was walking into, and I'm like, "Nope." So,
yes, it's
that could've probably went free because they're underage and they were drinking, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna be responsible for this. That's
yeah,
on you right now."
yeah. Good for you for getting out of there.
Yeah.
If you keep drinking, where does this road lead you in the next year?
I'm not gonna keep drinking.
Do you think kind of opening up and to the scary word, but the world about drinking may have some type of impact?
Yes. Actually, I had this thing that I actually wrote down too. It's called drink to jacked.
Drink to what?
So jacked,
Oh,
like
drink to
muscles.
jacked. Got it. Okay.
So I was thinking about doing something like that where I record my journey, getting back into shape and doing all that, and then say I used to drink a lot, and at any moment you could change your life, and
Yeah.
this is my journey. I don't know, but
I think it's phenomenal. I
we'll
think it's
see.
a fabulous idea, and I think it's a good way to stay
Yeah,
accountable.
the only issue is it's really hard to record inside of a gym without getting roasted for it.
I've seen
And
some
I'm
of those
not the type of
videos.
person yeah, but I'm not a type of person where I'm gonna put the camera 100 feet away while I'm recording. No,
You
it's
mean
gonna
you're
be
not gonna
right
bring your whole
next to
setup,
me.
bring your light, and,
Oh, of course I am. What are you talking about? I'm gonna have a team set up with, like, a green screen behind me and everything. I'm gonna make it look like I'm working out on the beach. No, I don't care about recording in the gym, but I feel like if you're gonna do it, just be respectful of other people too, you know? That's so we'll see. We'll see if I can figure out how to get that done.
what do you hope to rebuild or create in sobriety?
I want my health and my fitness back. I haven't lost many friendships, which is funny. I did lose every girlfriend I ever dated during this journey, but as far as like just straight up friendships, they're very supportive. I'm not like overt. I'm not like too much of a jerk, even when I'm drinking. So I like to sustain the fitness journey. Just like I heard this thing, it says, stop drinking and you'll change the world.
Yeah,
And that's what I want, even if it's just my world.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good one. So if someone is
I think that.
listening, if someone listening is where you are, not
Yeah,
sober yet, still fighting, what would you want them to hear?
it's a journey. Don't beat yourself up, but do everything you can to not pick that drink up, whatever you got to do. Whether it's a therapist, like there's better help. You don't even have to go to an office anymore. You can do it online. Reach out to friends, people you know care about you, family, and just say, hey, this is where I'm at in my life and I can't go down this road anymore. So if we're going to hang out, can you be respectful of my decision to not pick that drink up? And that's it. Or if not, just don't go to those places anymore.
Right,
It's all on you. It's all on you. This is your journey. This is your life that we're talking about here. And you don't want to wake up in 10 years and a doctor says you have cirrhosis. You don't want that.
right.
So
It comes way faster
it's
than
head.
people think.
Yeah. And what I just said is pretty heavy, but please, as an empath, and I don't know why I'm an empath. I just am. I feel people. I care about people. I want to help people. Just don't pick up that tree. Just stop. That's it.
So
But ask for help too.
what?
Don't just ask for help. Don't think you have to do it alone.
Right.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's good. I love that you say ask for help because I think just from my experience watching some people try to get sober, they haven't been successful because they try to do it in silence. And I think when we are honest, open, and willing to talk about it, I think there's more success in it.
I agree. I actually went to a emergency room and they were still just submissive. I told them, I said, I'm a drinker because I had some like physical stuff going on. I was like, I'm a drinker. And they're like, how much? I'm like, a lot. Because at the time I was drinking a lot. And they just kind of gave me some meds and set me on my way and didn't even, I mean, they offered a psychology person, but like other than that, they didn't really it seem like they cared. And I get it. It's an emergency room. People, they're busy. They got a lot of people they need to take care of. But I feel like they should have been a little bit more. Even the doctor I went to after that. So I got a primary doctor, and even he was like very dismissive. And I'm like, you guys need to listen to your patients sometimes and understand that they might be struggling a little bit instead of just pushing them out the door because you want the next patient. I worked at a hospital for 21 years, so I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be busy. But if someone's struggling on that level, I think it's good to just be a human instead of just a doctor. Yeah.
So
So
what do you want to try to stay sober? I mean,
what's that?
you talk to your friend. So what next steps do you plan on taking to stay sober?
Just not drinking. I mean, that's the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Get back in the gym, start running again, connect with friends and hang out with the pupper and talk to people like you who, by the way, you have an awesome platform. And the
Thank you.
fact that you open it up and let people share their stories, that's really, really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I love being able to share people's stories.
I love it too. And I don't know, like sometimes you might struggle with it. I don't know, listening to people's struggles and stuff like that. It's like I know what that side is about also. You put a lot on yourself when you put yourself out there and let people talk to you about like things they're going to through.
I It just helps validate staying sober.
I like that. Okay.
Because, I mean, maybe I didn't get to the level some of these people got, but I was heading that direction.
What made you? Well, I didn't get to that level either. I'm not like I said. I didn't go through DTS or anything like that. I don't know how you get to that point, but people do. I had a neighbor downstairs scared the crap out of me. Can I talk about something kind of heavy?
Mhm.
So he would buy those box wines, the yellow box wines. I don't know if it's red or white, probably white, but like every day. And he quit his job because his back was hurting. I'm like, your back's probably hurting because you're drinking so much and your organs are screaming for help. But instead of thinking like that, he quit his job and he just sat at home and drank and drank and drank. And one day, oh my God, he fell on his porch through a glass coffee table. And I was walking by and I'm like, we had like, I call her the mayor. and she took care of everybody. So I texted her. I was like, hey, you know, Jed might be in some trouble. Do you mind coming by so we can kind of help the guy out? It took, I mean, he wasn't like overweight, but he wasn't a small guy. And dead weight is completely different than someone actually helping you pick them up. So I was in front trying to pick this guy up, and someone else was behind, and we finally got him up and into the chair. And I saw his feet, and I'm like, so I started picking up all the glass and throw it inside of a receptacle. And he's like, "Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe." And I'm like, "Dude, you're okay. We got you. Just relax." And you could see his eyes were bulgy. He was bloodshot. Just you could tell that guy was wasted. And we got him in the chair, and I picked up all the glass, and then we started washing his feet and cleaning up. Well, it wasn't. We went outside, and he had like 12 of those big bottles of wine or cartons of wine on his lanai. And I went outside, and I told Jean, I was like, "And the guy's got 2 months max." Yeah, you could just see it, and it wasn't even 6 weeks later. Called
Wow.
the cops. They went and checked on him, and 3 days.
3
And
days.
I'm like,
That is
"That's yeah,
terrible.
I know."
So,
S
these stories are really they should be eye-opening to us, shouldn't they? But yet, I feel
I
like
know. I
they're
mean,
not.
and they are for in the moment, but it goes away so fast.
Yeah.
Sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're fine. But I think I've known so many people that have lost their life to alcohol, but yet everyone around them still drinks just as much, if not more.
Yeah, because I think it's fleeting. I don't think people realize the gravity of the situation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So,
yeah,
when's your day one?
what do you need?
Like when
I understand the question, but, like, what are you implying
when
right
do you
now?
want your that what did you say earlier? Something to jacked.
Oh, that. The go from drinking to getting jacked
When do you want that journey to start?
right now.
So
I'm gonna start curling my husky.
September so September 12th, just so we like have, the stamp. What
I'll write it down too.
what do you want to see in the next 30 days that you could maybe help inspire someone else, share their story and
Ooh,
have their day one?
I like that. Sorry for the radio silence.
You're fine.
Just thinking, because that's a pretty deep question. Honestly, like I've been getting a lot of compliments lately. Just my look. I don't. I mean, I had some struggles for a while. I was looking pretty shaggy. I'm not gonna lie. Walk around looking like a homeless person. I didn't shave. My hair was long. It was pretty bad. So I feel like even just that, like if people know me, right, and they're like, "Hey, you're looking good right now." I'm like, "Okay, that's enough." Going forward, like I would like to start working out again, getting really back in shape and doing my Spartan races, which I absolutely love, and just being happy again.
Keyword.
I feel like people who drink, they're not happy. You might feel better when you drink, but you're not. That's not internal.
Right.
It's from substance. So you're tricking your body or your brain into thinking that it's happy when it's not. So I'd like to get back there. And I shared a lot of my story, and I still struggle. I didn't tell you about this, but I had dreams about mom and lucid dreams where it's like I'd look at her in the dream and be like, "Mom, you're not supposed to be here." Yeah, and then I'd wake up and say, "Whoa, what was that about?" That's insane. That's heavy. So I feel like there's a lot of trauma I need to work through. I don't know how to go about doing it, but I'm sharing my story so that other people, if you're going through stuff and things that happen in your life, like forgive yourself, but do the work. Don't just fall into a substance. And that's hypocritical because I did, and I get that. But because of that, I can share my journey and hopefully stop some notes from getting to that point.
Yeah, I think that's really good. I think helping people with our stories before is too late is so important.
And I love traveling too. I want to get back to that. So that's another thing that I like to get done. But other than that, I mean, life isn't horrible. It's just like I don't know how. I used to be the meditator, the yoga guy, the workout dude, the like motivation guy. I'd get on Facebook and just always motivational quotes. And, it just kind of went away. And there's no timeline. Like, there's no like cutting point that I can think when that happened.
Yeah.
It's just good.
You always have the opportunity to start over and have day one and move
Abs-
forward and heal from, I always tell people that first year was hard with all the first learning to, discovering myself sober. And then that second year was digging into the whys. And
What was the hardest part when we made the transition? Like, was it loneliness? Was it boredom?
when I made the transition was kind of is kind of different than when I quit drinking. So when I quit drinking for 75 hard, it was like, what do I do with myself?
Boredom.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
through the first few weeks, definitely the hardest part. And I did my first camping trip and then I came home and that's when I realized I'm done with alcohol. We are breaking up. And I think it took the first 3 to 4 weeks to get through it and then realizing how productive I was and how much more time I was spending with my kids and just being active and how I felt. The bloat was going. I started seeing the physical changes and I don't know, it just took over me and I don't know. I've had I don't want to say I haven't I've had hard moments, but they've been emotional. Some of the hardest things that I've been through in my life have been since I've been so well, I don't want to say I mean, I lost my grandpa in 2015, so that was very traumatic for me. Still is. But since I've been sober, we've had a lot of pushback on us being sober. And so that's been hard to navigate and it's not from friends. That's the sad part, but I think that's just been the hardest part is just navigating, like, where do you draw the line with boundaries without, you know
Right there. You draw the line because that's not fair. Especially
Yeah,
if it's family, if it's friends, it's people who should care about you and they give you a hard time because you don't drink. That's not fair.
and
No, you 1%.
it's not necessarily that we don't drink, but it's that we changed our lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change, and I don't think a lot of people realize that when you set the bottle down, it is a complete lifestyle change, and you get to choose what you accept and what you don't accept, and I we just chose to do things differently and it just fired people up the wrong way and they didn't like it and said terrible, terrible things. So we just stepped away.
I understand disagreeing with you and saying being kind though. Be kind about it. Don't be a jerk. I don't agree with this, but like it's your life, so do what you need to do. But for someone to be mean, like you said a strong word just then, because you just decided to do something good for your life. What if it's a jealousy issue? They
Yeah.
want to do it too, but they don't have the willpower or the strength to put to follow down.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go into details one day, but I mean, it's
Well, I'm not prying. I'm just
no, I mean, it's
you
just very
know,
hurtful things have been said and some things that are almost unforgivable. I mean, I know we're supposed to forgive, but there's just some things that you don't say to people. And just
Yep.
because we drew a line and set a boundary because we're not drinking, we just wanted to have a sober day and it just
Yeah.
blew out of proportion and all hell has broke loose since. And then we've gone through some
It's
other
so
things
insane to
and
me.
I deal with a lot of my past coming up and being thrown in
Mhm.
my face and thrown on the internet and like accusations about all like I mean to the point where I could probably it's like cyber stalking and like it got pretty bad and I had to deal with that and after
Like, do
watching
you mean like trolls type stalking or like what
oh
are we talking about
just so the Netflix documentary Unknown Number,
here? Mhm.
very similar situation and it's just nice to know that the FBI can actually find these people if it gets any
Yeah.
worse. So I've talked to lawyers, I've talked to my psychologist, I've talked to a cop. I mean, it's just, some of the things that just the harassment and stuff that I've had to deal with. And
Mm.
and then I realized that doing it sober is so much better because if I was drunk, it would have escalated the whole entire situation tenfold. And,
Yep.
a lot of things in recent days would have been escalated had I been still drinking.
Wait, this is recent?
Like,
I
the
mean,
harassment
I'm
is
just saying
the
I'm
harassment
playing.
is
I'm
this
so
is
curious
recent,
about
is,
that.
like, in the last
That's
4 or 5 months.
yeah. For what though? You're providing a platform for people and improving people's lives.
People
Like
don't like
what's
to see you doing well. They wanna drag you down.
got it.
I mean, that's all I guess I don't know.
Yeah. That's true though. And that's why like I was hesitant to even do this podcast. And I'm gonna get some roasting and some hate probably, and that's okay. It's life. Everybody's got their opinion.
I was really bad with my mental health for a while.
Hmm,
It was getting really, really bad, and I said, "You have to do something or I'm gonna shut my channel down. I can't do this anymore."
okay.
And
Is that a setting you did, or
and it's
they
and
do it
it's
for
not
you?
like haters like, "Oh, you're stupid" type stuff. It's like derogatory, harassment, and it's evil.
Yeah.
So we, we've talked and, came up with some things and, moving forward, whatever is thrown our way, we will overcome it. That's pretty much what we've had to tell ourselves.
That's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
Other than what you did as far as reaching out to YouTube and saying, "Hey guys, like it's a borderline a bit like you said, harassment. It's not borderline, it is harassment. So just stop." And I've seen some on a couple other people's podcasts, some comments where it's like the people are just mean. And I don't get it. This is a journey, man. You don't just flip the switch. Well, a lot of people can't flip the switch. Some people can. And if someone says, "I'm sober," and then they go a month and then they relapse and they tell you about it, I don't think that person should get roasted for it. I don't think that's fair.
We call these keyboard warriors.
Yeah, trolls.
Trolls. But I mean, I think, you coming on and, just giving a different perspective of some people like the raw, the very beginning, the seeing, as it's happening. And then, some people do like the progress, like the years. I've had a comment saying these 30-day videos don't help. Well, guess what? 95% of my community has been asking for the early sobriety and versus the 10-year plus ones. So it's like I love to deliver whatever I can that's going to help people. And
Mhm.
I like, you know, I created this community. It's obviously my voice, but
Right.
I want to share other people's voices within, my community and just to keep helping other people. I think, a lot of people may not resonate with me, you know, but there's been several people that have commented, "This person 100% my story." And so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what level of drunk you are. I think all of our stories matter and no one can say yours is worse or not than the others. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah. Well, I think you're doing a very good thing. I think the haters should just like move on. Man, I guess you can't have love without hate. So I mean, just it is what I wouldn't even read it to be honest with
Oh,
you.
I mean, I can do the hate
YouTube
comments. I
doesn't.
just can't do the harassment. That's what I can't do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
I'm pretty
I
good
was
at dealing with it.
watching. I was watching Slayer, and someone put a comment on his page where it's like, "Don't listen to this guy. He just keeps relapsing. He's a piece of crap." Like, what are you doing right now? The man's trying to do better. He's broadcasting his story across the entire world for himself and for you. So for you. This is your journey. This is your story.
Yeah.
So those people who are mean to you, I understand like blocking them and getting rid of them, but don't let it hurt you too much because their opinion literally doesn't matter because they don't know what you went through.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then, your past is your past, and I think a lot of people like to hang on to that. Oh, well, what Megan did in this year or that year and who she was and what she did, and it's like, "Okay, well, guess what? You don't know me anymore, so peace out, leave me alone."
Yeah. I have a question. Do you think that alcohol makes you more of who you are, or do you think it changes you? It doesn't have to be black and white. It could be a level thing too.
I think I'm the same person. I was just it escalated my anger and
Mhm.
it escalated my reactivity. I was very, very quick tempered. I'm still quick tempered, but I was like, if anybody's seen Party Down South, Martha, my husband used to call me Martha when I would get to a certain stage of drunk. So if that says
That's awesome.
anything,
Tell 'em I said thank you for that.
so that's that, that alter ego part. And, it's all in fun and games. He didn't mean it in a derogatory way, but, there was
Of
Megan,
course.
Maggie, and Martha. So
Wait, what is Maggie then?
Maggie's just the really fun, bubbly, like,
Oh, I got you. Yeah,
and
she
it
likes you.
switches over to
She
Martha, and it's like, we just need to put her to bed.
all right. As long as he doesn't call you Karen, I think we're
Oh my gosh. Right? Yeah.
so I used to be a really fun a drinker. Oh, okay. So the reason why I brought that up is like I feel like it's a level thing, right? So I start drinking and then I get the buzz and I'm a happy person. I'm like bubbly as a guy can be, laughing, joking, whatever. And but there's a switch that happens when you go over that line, you drink a little too much, and that's when you turn mean.
Mm,
And then you wake up the next day, you remember saying half the stuff that you did.
yeah.
And that's a problem. If
Yes.
anyone's doing that, forgive yourself, but realize right now it's a problem and it can be fixed.
That was me. And now I'm fixed. I mean, okay, I'm quote fixed. So that was that was me. I would always go over that too much, blackout, wake up, be like, what did I say? Where's my phone? Where's my wallet? What oh my gosh, this
Mm,
person's mad at me. I said this, I posted that, I texted this. I mean, it was ugly. It was I mean, more times than
yeah,
not, probably
same way.
8 out of 10 times it was like that.
Yeah. And then you don't even remember. So you're like, what did I even say to you? And you're like, you don't remember? I'm like, no, I don't remember. And then you can't apologize for it because you weren't even there when you said, I mean, you were there, but like consciously, obviously, you weren't there or you would have remembered. So yeah, my last girlfriend was like that. I was so mean to her. And I talked about forgiving yourself earlier, but stuff like that is so hard to forgive yourself for
Yeah.
because you don't even remember what you did or
Right.
said. That's what makes it difficult.
I agree. So everybody that's watching this, if, I would love to have you back on to help you stay accountable in like the next 30 to 60 days. And hopefully, you can show us those jacked muscles.
All right.
So
I
I really
mean,
appreciate you coming on and being vulnerable. I know it's not easy and but a lot of people will love you for coming on.
I appreciate that.